So I just wanted to share a little bit of my experience with fasting and what I've got going on with that. I first got interested in fasting. Well, actually, in 2017, I spent 300 days in the gym of the 365 available days. I did a lot of exercise. I didn't do any calorie reduction, but I did a lot of exercise in the gym. A lot of my body weight is lean muscle mass, but that has very little to do with my joints don't care what they're carrying around. Weight is weight is weight. Um, my body mass is greater than my joints like to carry. So I've been trying to, everything imaginable to lose a little bit of weight, to drop some weight so that my joints and all my mobility would be better. I feel like my energy would be better. And it used to be when I was a little younger, if I would get a little bit overweight, I could just go run for 30 days and I'd just peel that weight off. Well, as I've gotten older, that's not been the case. I've had to really focus, really do a lot of exercise. I don't want to spend 2 hours in the gym every day to try to keep my weight at something manageable and to I want to be mobile. I mean, the most important thing with my health is my mobility and my ability to get around and to have the energy to go to do what I want to do. There's nothing that feels worse than to have a head full of ideas, that things that you want to do and places you want to go and activities that you want to be involved in, and not have the physical stamina, energy, or ability to do that. There's nothing worse. It's causes anxiety, causes frustration. Not being healthy in my body is not. It's not good for my mental health. So I've done a little bit of research. I started just a little bit of research, watching some videos with fasting. I'm not going to tell you my whole life story. I'm going to get to the point about the fasting, because if you clicked on this video, it's because you wanted to hear about my experience with fasting. So I've always been kind of, at least for the last 5, 7, probably, no, more than that, the last 10 years, I've known that low carbohydrates, higher protein, high fat diets work better for me with just my body type. And I don't necessarily keep my carbohydrates low enough that I stay in ketosis. I'm not necessarily on the keto diet, but I do keep, I pay attention to my carbohydrates. And I've had periods where I was really diligent about what I was eating and my exercise. And I've had periods where, like last year, I was really diligent with my exercise. And like I said, 300 days out of 365 available days. This year, at the last quarter, I let my weight kind of get out of control, and I did a 90 and 90, tried at 90 trips to the gym in 90 days, and I got to like 78, and I said, I'm not going. I'm done. It's just the results aren't coming like they used to. I don't know. I'm over 50, so maybe it's age related. I don't really think so. There are a lot of guys that are older than me that are getting pretty good results in the gym. So anyway, I started to do a little research. What makes better sense to lose weight than don't eat? The idea of the calorie restrictions it's a huge deal. I don't want to count my calories. The old myth of calories in versus calories burned. More calories burned than taken in equals weight loss. Well, a lot of the calories that I take in are not they're not calories that are turned to fat. The whole idea of this is that when I eat, my insulin is spiked. When that hormone, that insulin, is spiked, it just signals my body, store fat, use that energy later. And that's just the way our bodies are made. I really have come to an understanding that makes me embrace fasting, want to fast, and feel like I'm not doing anything wrong. The old idea is, you're going to lose lean muscle mass if you fast. If you don't eat regularly, if you don't have many meals a day, you're going to lose lean muscle mass. you're going to go into starvation mode. Your body's okay. You might lose weight when you're not eating, but as soon as you start eating again, you're in starvation mode, and your body has shut down. You killed your ability to. You've slowed down your metabolism where you can't process calories. That's all crap. That's not the truth. That's just not the way it is. Fasting's been around for a really long time. Muhammad, Jesus, Buddha, all recommended to people that they cared about to fast. So there was the 2016 Nobel Prize for Medicine was given to a Japanese scientist with a study of autophagy. Autophagy is what happens when you don't eat food. When you don't eat food, your body eats itself. And the cool thing about your body eating itself is it starts with the mitochondria that are damaged. The cells in your body that don't line up with the programming. Your DNA is the code, and your cells line up with the way that it's coded. And the ones that don't line up, the ones that have mutated, the ones that are damaged, are the ones that are eaten first. So this doesn't happen immediately. I watched a video today, and the guy talked about some things that you can do to help to increase the amount of autophagy that occurs, increase the rate at which it occurs, and some of the things that you can eat while you're fasting. You're not really eating anything when you're fasting. Well, anyway, he said turmeric, ginger, green tea, and what's a mushroom? REIS. Anyway, there's a mushroom that also increases autophagy, but it may put you. It really, if the idea is fasting, you're not taking in anything besides some minerals and 0 calories. The mushroom you might not really be able to consider yourself fasting. So anyway, the first time that I fast, I kind of went overboard. I was joking that, okay, well, if Jesus can do 40 days and get himself straight, it'll probably take me at least 41. So I had a goal. My very first time of fasting, I think it really was the first time that I'd gone more than I've gone 24 hours without eating, just because I was busy and my schedule didn't permit stopping to get food in the Army and training exercises, or even sometimes at home on one of those manic weekends when I'm just doing the things that I want to do and I just don't stop and eat. I've probably gone 24, but I don't think I've ever exceeded 36 hours. So the first time that I have been watching all these videos and decided I wanted to fast, the first time that I fasted, I decided I was going to go 40 days. So I went several days. The 28th day, my son and I were driving back from Louisville, Kentucky, and I had the phone plugged into this rental car and had Apple CarPlay going, and sometimes how the phone doesn't do right when it's plugged into Apple CarPlay. You touch the screen on Apple CarPlay, but you got to do it on. And I was like yelling at the phone, "Fucking thing, you fucking car, fucking phone!" And I thought, that's not the way that I act. That's not the way that I want to behave. I'm like, what is my problem? And I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. It's not. I don't know if it was from fasting or something else going on, but I just kind of attribute it to fasting. And so I just decided on the way home, when we get home, I'm going to eat. And they recommend that you take a small amount in. And, well, one of the things that I realized during that first attempt at fasting was that, let me backstep a little bit. After you get into ketosis, after all the glycogen stores in your body have been used, your body just automatically it gets into ketosis and starts burning fat for energy, and that fat in your body is it's stored there to use as energy when food's not available. We just live in a society where food is so abundant and it's so plentiful that we don't ever lay off the food to let our body do its natural cleansing and its natural function. I mean, our bodies are made to not have food regularly, not to have food 24 hours a day available to us. So I got into ketosis, and my body was eating the fat. My hunger after the third day, the second day is always the hardest. I mean, the second day of fasting is that when the hunger hormone, ghrelin, I'm not sure exactly what it's called. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a person that wants to do better, be better, feel better, be the best that I can be. And I'm experimenting with fasting to try to do that. So after the second day, the hunger is diminished. Third day, you're fully into ketosis, and your body is a fat burning machine. It's just using those fat stores for energy, and that is okay with me. So anyway, let me talk about when I came out of this first fast. So they recommend that when you come out of the fast, you do something light, do some soup or some bone broth or something, and then wait like an hour and let your body kind of just rev back up, and get started on that, and then have some food. So I had a little snack, I think a little piece of ham, and it was really good. I really liked it. It amazes me that so much of my eating is not to feed the animal body. It is to feed my needy mind. I need something to feel better. Dopamine is released when we enjoy eating. And so much of the eating that I do is not to live, but it's to feel better. So I think Thomas Edison said that, it was either Thomas Edison or Benjamin Franklin said that we should eat to live, don't live to eat. And man, you don't realize it if you've never fasted for an extended period and experienced that. You just don't understand how much of the eating that we do is just for comfort of our body and our being. That I eat so many times just a little handful of something, or a little snack or a big meal, and it's not because I need some fuel and I'm depleted and I'm drained. It's because I want to feel better. I want some dopamine. The monkey man in me wants no pain and wants to feel good. So I get some food and it makes me feel better. And it's not to get energy or not to, give my body fuel. It's to just feel better. So anyway, I'm back to this when the first feeding after I went the 28 days. So I had a little piece of ham, and then I'm cooking some food, and I don't know what I overdid it. I mean, I just tried to make up all the difference. I ate so much that I literally was just completely miserable. I was trying to belch and trying to fart, trying to go to the bathroom, trying to just make that go away because I ate so much food, and I knew when I was eating it that it was too much. I knew that I was eating too much, but it just made me feel so good. I think that that frustration in the car and yelling at the phone and yelling at the car, there was something else going on. It wasn't necessarily the fasting. I mean, I just had something going on, emotionally, psychologically, something. I can't put my finger on it. I blamed it on the food and not eating, and I'm like, I'm just going to eat now. So I ate so much food that I was absolutely miserable. I thought, well, I'll just lay down a little bit, maybe And I literally, I had to step out the back door and stick my toothbrush down my throat, make myself throw up, just to get some of that off, because my stomach doesn't really shrink. They say your stomach shrinks when you don't eat. It doesn't. You're just that the sensors in your stomach that say that I'm full start working better after you don't eat for a period. So it doesn't take so much to overwhelm them, and you get the sensation of being full. So that that overeating it's probably a pretty common thing. I don't know. I overate. I knew that I was overeating when I did it, but it just tasted so good and made me feel so good. I wanted more. And that's a lot of my eating. My food is more. It's all about more. One of the things that I did during the fast that would help me get over the edge was you just don't know how good it tastes to get Himalayan sea salt and cayenne pepper and make a little cappuccino out of that, just a tea. Just drink it in hot water, stir it up, and and you know, when you haven't had any food, but I think that I need to replenish the salt. I need salt for my body to work right. So the salt and the cayenne pepper was just a treat, and so I'd stir that together, and I never had any cayenne pepper and Himalayan sea salt that tasted so good. It was like the best soup that I've ever had. It's really good. I had it not every day, but there were a few days that I didn't have it. Most days I had it during those 28 days. So I don't think that you know, stopping at 28 days was a failure, but I didn't achieve my goal, but I did experience what it was like to fast. Since then, I've had a few times where I decided that I was going to go 7 days, and I didn't make it past that 2-day hump. I'm telling you that the second day is the absolute worst. The second day, the hunger is the greatest. All the glycogen that your brain uses to function is gone. You're not completely into ketosis, so there's no fuel for your brain. Once you get into ketosis, that you're going to get some ketones and your brain is a ketone burning machine. But the fat is turned into the ketones, or ketones are produced in your body. I don't know exactly how it works. Your liver converts the fat to glycogen, or not to glycogen, but to ketones, and the ketones, your brain can work on that. Actually, it works pretty good. But that second day, for me, every time that I've attempted since then, the second day, the hunger is the worst. The brain fog is the worst. And yesterday, today is day 3. I'm into a new fast. I want to do a 7-day fast. I haven't been able to repeat the success from the 28 days. So I've just decided I want to do a 7-day fast. I started that on Thursday night was my last meal, and this is Sunday night. Anyway, the second day, brain fog is the worst. The hunger is the worst, and I had some sense of some mild depression, or just feeling the futility of life, and pretty low energy. And actually today I'm in day 3. I made it over the hump. I'm past the hump of day 2, and I feel really good. My mental clarity this morning was spot on. I still have a little bit of like right at that moment, just what I just did right there, when I'm looking for a word to describe what I'm feeling or thinking, but I just can't quite get to the place that it is. And so it's not necessarily, I'm not near as cloudy and foggy as I was yesterday. Yesterday I had a hard time putting sentences together. I walked in the wrong room and couldn't really remember why I went in there or what I was thinking about. I would have a little thought of something that I wanted to do, and I would go to execute it, and then I'd be like, what am I going to do? What am I doing? So, and I've saw some other videos that's pretty normal. And really, that's the whole reason that I made this video, is to tell you I'm on day 3. It's a lot better on day 3. I feel a lot better. I had plenty of energy. All 3 of the days, I've been to the gym every single day that I have been fasting. No food, but I've still been working out. I've been drinking coffee, green tea. I have some ginger tea. I had 1 serving of Himalayan sea salt and cayenne pepper. That I got like the 75,000 on the Scoville for the cayenne pepper. The hotter, the better. I mean, for me, I don't know necessarily if other people like that, but I like it really hot like that. So I'm on day 3. My energy is good. My mental clarity is not. I'm not max, but I'm a lot better than I was yesterday. I'm hoping that tomorrow that will be a lot better. I think in the morning tomorrow I'm going to get up early and go for a walk. Being outside really helps me a lot. So anyway, if you're watching this, I know that you're interested in doing some fasting. I highly recommend fasting. Go easy. It's a lot. The cravings are easier if you're already at the carbohydrates and the sugar are really powerful, and they cause a lot of cravings. So if you can get off of the bread, the starch, no sugar. I haven't done sugar for a long time. I mean, I've been where I was using some honey and some other sweeteners, but I really just don't think that I'm supposed to be eating that kind of stuff. It's not the best for me. Even the fruit, the high sugar fruit. If you think about fruit back in the days of our ancestors, fruit is generally ripe at the end of summer. So the animals eat that fruit, causes an insulin spike, and lets them store fat so that they'll have some stores to get through the winter. I mean, I think even eating fruit causes fat, causes us to store fat. So all of my attempts at fasting, when I've had these 7-day desires to go 7 days, and I've only made it a couple of days, in the middle of that has been lots of 1 meal a day days, and that really works good for me. The only problem I have with eating 1 meal a day is that I overeat almost every day. Almost every day when I do 1 meal a day, I eat so much that I'm miserable. So I'm going to put that on the back burner for a while here and just not eat anything. I'm in the middle of day 3. Actually, this is the nighttime of day. Okay, Thursday night I ate. It was Thursday. Yeah, Thursday night I ate. Friday night I didn't eat. Saturday night I didn't eat. Sunday. So this is the end of day 3, and I feel a little better. I can tell that I'm in ketosis. I have energy. I have a not quite so foggy of a head, and I'm feeling pretty good about how it's going. I don't know that I'm going to do a video every day and talk about the progress while I'm fasting. You know, if I don't, when I'm up, I'm usually really up, but when I'm down, I don't want to do this kind of stuff. I'm like, I don't want to make a video. I don't want to do that. I don't want to make I make my bed. Anyway, I hope that some of my rambling here might give somebody an idea of what my experience has been with fasting. And I don't know if I talk very much about the autophagy. The autophagy is a critical part of why I am fasting. I want those damaged cells to be eaten up and used up. I don't want them floating around. People, you know, I've watched so many videos on the internet about fasting and autophagy that people have reported skin tags falling off when they're fasting, their skin clearing up. You know, I've got this little thing going on that I've had for years of dry skin between my eyes. It's pretty clear right at the moment, but it's not all. It didn't even clear up all in that 28 days. It didn't clear up completely. I'm drinking plenty of water. I'm drinking, probably not 100 ounces, but I'm probably drinking at least 90 ounces of water a day, and lots of coffee. Still going to the gym. The gym I'm not killing it. I'm just going in there. I'm doing a few weights, stretching, light weights, just to keep, everything working like it's supposed to. I'm not trying to make any gains. I'm just trying to feel good. So if you're interested, if you thought about fasting, I highly recommend it. I've had some weight loss. I don't know necessarily what the weight loss is, but I know my pants fit a little bit better and my jacket isn't so tight and I feel pretty good. So, that's the goal. And I want my joints to be able to carry my body around, and that's been really helpful to lose a little bit of weight and to be able to have some increased mobility. Another thing that I've been doing that kind of, like self-discipline is not necessarily a inherited trait. It's one that you can build in yourself. One of the things that I've been doing that I think that really increases my self-discipline is that I've been very cognizant, probably over the last year, I've been very cognizant of my posture. Whenever I'm sitting somewhere, I try to sit up straight, I try to walk straight, try to keep my shoulders rolled back, try to have some, I just pay attention to my posture, just to constantly be on myself and to, you feel better, you look better, things are better if you have good posture. The other thing that I've been doing is every time that I finish in the shower, I turn the hot water all the way off. No hot water. The coldest that the water will go. It won't go below 32 degrees. 33 degrees is probably as cold as it'll ever get. And really, if you think about that, how you can make yourself stand in the hot water and eventually you get used to it, it's exactly the same with cold water. And it may sound a little far-fetched, a little bit out there, but what I've been doing is thinking that I am in charge of this animal man. The animal man can stand it in that water. I'm going to make him do it. And so I really just been thinking that, okay, my brain is wired to tell me, get out of that water, it's cold. The body's you're going to use up energy, because your body's got to produce the heat to keep you at, the homeostasis, to keep your temperature maintained. Well, that doesn't, it's just the brain I'm not hurting my body by making it stand in the cold water. So I really just think to myself, shut up. The animal is going to stand in the water. The animal can stand the cold water. And then as dumb as it sounds, I start thinking of that. I went to the desert on a horse with no name. And I imagine myself I think about Havasu Falls, standing under the water in Havasu Falls. And I think about the river, the Colorado River, when it goes through Needles, out in the high desert, when it's really, really hot. It's like 110, 115 degrees, and that water is so crisp and cold. I think about that, and I think about, I kind of fool myself into believing that the water is refreshing me because it's been so hot. And eventually, after a moment, as I'm like the cops handcuffing myself, I'll tell the animal man, shut up, stop resisting, relax, you're okay, just relax, it's just cold water. And I just make myself do that. And it's given me the ability, I think it builds my ability to tolerate bullshit. If I can make myself stand there in that cold water without reacting to it, the things that I don't have any influence on coming at me in everyday life have less influence over me. I can just let them go, just make the animal man stand there and take it. So anyway, I've kind of rambled on. Day 3 of my fasting, brain fog is gone, plenty of energy. I do want to sit down and take breaks every once in a while I'm working on something, and I don't know if that's part of the not having any fuel or what it is, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm over the hump. The 2-day hump is miserable. I don't like that one bit. The second day, especially the evening, the evening of the second day for me is the hardest point of fasting. I'm over that. I'm in the middle of my third evening, and I feel pretty good about it. So I rambled on about a lot of topics, and I hope that someone can maybe watch this and glean some kind of inspiration or some kind of information from it. Bye.